In this concept, we're going to talk about binomials. Now, a binomial is the sum of two monomials. Here's an example, 2x plus 3, right? So 2x is a monomial consisting of a number multiplying a variable, so a product of a number and a variable, and then 3. So 3 is a monomial consisting of a single number. Okay? This sum is known as a binomial. Okay? So this is a binomial. Now, multiplying binomials together is a very common operation that will show up in the upcoming concepts. And the main method that we use, the most common method that we use to do this is called the FOIL method, okay, which essentially uses the distributive property to multiply binomials. Now, FOIL stands for the order by which you should multiply binomials together. So the F stands for multiplying the first terms, and then outer terms, and then the inner terms, and then the last terms. Let's see what this means. So here we have two example binomials multiplying each other, 2x plus 5, parentheses, and then times 4x plus 6, parentheses. Now the first terms are just, the first term of each pair of parentheses, right? So 2x times 4x. So this is the first term, right? The outer terms are, the terms on the outside of the whole expression, right? So these would be the outsides, as opposed to these being the insides, right? So the outsides here would be 2x times 6. So 2x times 6. These are the outer terms. Okay? And then the inner terms, as we said, are the terms on the inside. So plus 5 times plus 4. So these would be the inner terms. Right? 5 times 4x. And then the last terms being the product of the last term of each pair of parentheses. So in this case it would be 5 times 6. Okay? Last terms. Okay? This is a 2x times 4x, 2x, yeah, this is a typo. This should be a 6. Okay? Now we can very easily simplify this further. So 2x times 4x is 8x squared, plus 2x times 6 is 12x, plus 5 times 4x is 20x, and then plus 5 times 6 is 30. Typo again. And then we can just combine like terms. So 8x squared, there's nothing else that has x squared, so this remains as is. 12x plus 20x is 32x. And then 30 is 30. No other constants to combine with. Okay? Here's another example. Simplify. X minus 2 times 2x minus 3. Using the FOIL method, so F is the first terms, right? So x times 2x is 2x squared. And then O is outer terms, so x times minus 3 is minus 3x. I is inner terms, so minus 2 times 2x is minus 4x. And then L is the last terms, so minus 2 times minus 3, which is plus 6. Combining like terms, we have two terms that have x's, so minus 3 minus 4 is minus 7x, and then the x squared term remains and the 6 remains. Okay. One thing to note is that the distributive property can also be used to multiply a binomial by a trinomial. Okay. Now a trinomial is the sum of three monomials. Okay, it makes sense, right? Mono, bi, tri, etc. They just refer to the number of expressions that you have. So here's an example. If we wanted to, well, this is an example of a trinomial, actually. Okay, 2x squared plus x plus 5. Now, let's look at an example on simplifying or multiplying a binomial by a trinomial. So we have 2x minus 8 multiplying the trinomial 4x squared plus 2x plus 1. So using the distributive property, we essentially have the first term multiplying this whole pair of parentheses, all terms, and then we have the second term multiplying the pair of parentheses, all terms. So we have 2x times 4x squared. So let me just erase this. We have 2x times 4x squared, and then 2x times 2x, and then 2x times 1. And then we have minus 8 times 4x squared, and then we have minus 8 times 2x, and then we have minus 8 times 1. Okay, so 2x 4x squared plus 2x times 2x plus 2x times 1, which is just 2x. Okay, and then we have minus 8 times 4x squared. Actually, yeah, this is 2x times 1. Now this is 2x times 1. Okay, minus 8 times 4x squared, and then minus 8 times 2x, and then minus 8 times plus 1. Okay, when we multiply everything, so 2x times 4x squared is 8x cubed, 2x times 2x is 4x squared, 2x times 1 is just 2x, right? And then there's no minus 1 here. It's just 2x. And then 8 times 4 is 32, so minus 32x squared. Minus 8 times 2 is minus 16x. And then minus 8 times 1 is minus 8. Combining like terms, we have, well, nothing else with x cubed, so 8x cubed remains. The x squared term, 4 minus 32 is minus 28x squared. 2x minus 16x is minus 14x. And then this is just minus 8 because of the typo that we had. Okay. Okay, so here we have some exercises. Please pause the video, work on these, and come back for the solutions. Okay, so we need to simplify these. So here we have two binomials that are multiplied together. 2x minus 3 times 3x plus 5. So again, using the FOIL method, we have first terms, which is 2x times 3x, and then outer terms, which is minus 3 times 5. Right, let's just keep the parentheses to the second term. So minus 3 times 5. And then we have the inner terms, which is minus 3 times 3x. Sorry, the first terms 2x times 3x, and then the outer terms are 2x times 5. Sorry, so 2x, so plus 2x times 5. So first terms, and then outer terms, right? 2x and 5. And then the inner terms, right? And then the last terms, which are minus 3 and 5. So minus 3 times 5. And then this is the last term. Okay? Which gives us 6x squared plus 10x minus 9x. And then minus 3 times 5 is minus 15. And then we combine the like terms. 10x minus 9x is x. So we have 6x squared plus x minus 15. Okay. Next exercise. We have a binomial multiplying a trinomial. So again, just follow the same process, right? So we have this term multiplying all three of these, and then the second term multiplying all three of these. Okay, let's see what this gives us. So we have x times x squared plus x times 3x plus x times 8, and then minus 1 times x squared minus 1 times 3x minus 1 times 8, which gives us x cubed plus 3x squared plus 8x minus x squared minus 3x minus 8. Okay, and then this gives us, so x cubed, there's no other term with x cubed, so it stays as is. X squared, we have 3x squared minus x squared is plus 2x squared. Okay, and then 8x and minus 3x is plus 5x. Right, 8 minus 5 minus 3 is 5. And then just a negative 8, or minus 8. And this is our simplified answer. Okay, next exercise. Again, we have a binomial multiplying a trinomial. X squared minus y squared times x squared plus y squared minus 1. Again, same process. X squared times x squared is x to the 4th. And then x squared times y squared is plus just x squared y squared, right? Because the bases are different. We're not going to combine the powers. They have to stay like this. And then x squared times minus 1 is minus x squared. So now we're done with the multiplying the x squared by this by the trinomial. So now we want to multiply the minus y by the trinomial, right? So minus y squared times x squared is just y squared x squared. And then minus y squared times y squared is minus y to the 4th. And then minus y squared times minus 1 is plus y squared. From this point on, we just combine like terms. So we have x to the 4th, nothing else adds to it or interacts with it. So it stays as is. And then we have x squared y squared plus positive, and then minus y squared x squared, which is x squared y squared, right? So we essentially have this minus itself, right? So it cancels out. So then we have minus x squared minus y to the 4th plus y squared. So x to the 4th minus x squared. This just comes down here. Okay. And then we have minus y to the fourth plus y squared. Okay, and this is my final simplified answer. All right, so this is it for this concept. See you in the next video.